Set 4 MCQ LLM को लागि. The idea from status to contact was propounded by Henry Mene, Henry. The idea from status to contact was propounded by Henry Mene. When did Nepal become a republic? 2065. 2065. How many members does Public Service Commission consist of? 5. Law is the discovery from the society according to Inrich. EHRLICH. Ilrich. If pronunciation differ, please let me know in comment. Entitlement theory of justice is a theory of Robert Nozick. Nozicks. Which school is called the left wing of sociological school? Realist school. Kelsen pure theory of law is known as analytical law school. Who is the founder of revival natural law philosophy? Stamler. Stamler. Greatest happiness of the greatest number of people is the concept of Bentham. Greatest happiness of the greatest number of people is the concept of Bentham. What is the supreme right of the people? Ownership. Corpus juris is also known as body of law. Corpus juris is also known as body of law. Natural law approach is closely associated with morality. Natural law approach is closely associated with morality. The social solidarity theory was propounded by whom? Duguit. D-U-G-U-I-T. Duguit. Which one of the following is not a directive principle of the state policy under Part 4 of the Constitution of Nepal? Provision of adult education. Law comes from society is according to whom? Savagny. Law comes from society is according to whom? Savagny. Sidra is a treaty. Multilateral treaty. The provision no person shall be denied without being informed of the ground for such arrest under the Constitution of Nepal 2072 is right to justice. Law made by legislation is an act. The atom buried debt is imperfect right. Which of the following enjoys legal personality? Unborn child. Which of the following is not binding precedent? Persuasive precedent. What are the maximum member for the Federal Council of Ministers? 25. Which law is related to the effective functioning of administration of government? Administrative law. Executive organ of the state refers to government. Law has its source and sanction in social needs and necessities is according to sociological law school. State disease is related with precedent. Ownership of unborn child on property is considered conditional ownership divided by contingent ownership. Paying tax is duty, primary duty. Which legal system recognize idol as a legal person? Hindu. Which theory assumes that corporations gets a personality only by friction law? Friction theory. Set 5. Fundamental right are negative right of citizen. Law made by Council of Ministers is categorized as executive legislation. Right to freedom of speech is a constitutional right divided by negative right divided by perfect right. Right to freedom of speech is a constitutional right divided by negative rights divided by perfect right. Which is the apex court of Nepal? Supreme Court. Which is the apex court of Nepal? Supreme Court. The element of immemorial antiquity is concerned with custom. Idea of the rule of law was propounded by A.V. Dicey. General comments made by the judges during the course of judgment is known as obiter dictum. OBITR obiter dictum. Autonomous legislation is form of subordinate legislation. Autonomous legislation is form of subordinate legislation. Which school talks about rule skepticism? Which school talks about rule skepticism? American realism. American realism. Commodity exchange theory of socialist school is propounded by Puskins. 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 Law is found in preaching of philosopher Sant prophets. Religious text is the argument of natural school. Fons juris means sources of law. Fons juris, F-O-N-S, fons J-U-R-I-S, juris means sources of law. Enforcing mechanism of law is given by procedural law, which is an example of positive rights. Right to education. Right is the attribute of human will is real will theory. Will theory. Right is the attribute of human will is will theory. Who discharges the function of president if both the office of president and vice president falls vacant? Speaker of HOR. Speaker of HOR. Oath of the president of Nepal is administered by Chief Justice. No one can be judge in his own case is the principle of natural justice. Is the principle of natural justice. Executive power is vested in Council of Ministers. Which article of Constitution of Nepal has mentioned about the power to grant non-resident Nepalese citizenship? Article 14. Which schedules of Constitution of Nepal has mentioned about coat of arms of Nepal? Schedule 03. Schedule 3. In case of contradictions of Nepalese municipal law with the international treaties to which Nepal is a signatories and has been ratified by the Parliament, then international treaties shall prevail. It is mentioned in Nepal Treaty Act 2047, Section 9(1). To become law, a bill passed by the legislature, Parliament need to be finally authenticated by President. Which fundamental right is regarded as the oxygen of democracy? Right to information. A legal duty is enforced by the power of state. Right is personam is a right against particular person. Right against particular person. Right in personam is a right against particular person. Animus and corpus are required elements to be a legal person. Animus and corpus are required element to be a legal person. Legal person may be called as juristic person divided by fictitious person divided by artificial person. Juristic person divided by fictitious person divided by artificial person. When was the Pradhan Nyayalaya Act enacted? 1952. 1952. Who enacted Muliki in 1910? Jang Bahadur Rana. Set 6. Which is considered the first legal document of Nepal? Manav Nyaya Shastra. The term constitution is derived from which term? Latin. Under which part of constitution traditional provision is given? Part 33. Written jurisdiction of the Supreme Court mentioned in the present constitution? 133. Right to social security falls under which article of the present constitution? 43. Right to social security falls under which article of the present constitution? 43. The crime is that which is taken as against the individual and state. The crime is that which is taken as against the individuals and state. Fair trial is the outcome of natural school. When was Shrestha Pathshala began? 1905 AD. 1905 AD. Who is known as father of modern positivism? Auguste Comte. Auguste August AUGUST COMTE. The life of law has been logical. The life of law has been logical, but it has been experienced is said by Oliver Wendell Holmes. Oliver Wendell Holmes, OLIVER, Oliver, WENDELL HOLMES. Salman, when did Nepal become a member of SAARC? 1985 AD. 1985 AD. When was the Supreme Court of Nepal established? 2013 Jester. 2013 Jester. Which school evaluate the law in terms of effect? Realist school. Principle of reservation system is related to distributive justice. Law obliges to forbear from doing an act. It means it is negative duty. The right which is first time guaranteed in Constitution of Nepal is right of victim of crime. Right of victim of crime. Constitutional Council is headed by Prime Minister. Ownership over tangible things or objects is called corporal ownership. When the Shrestha Pathshala was established 1905 AD, who recommend the judge of Supreme Court of Nepal? Judicial Council. The legal term actus reus means guilty act. GILTY. The legal term actus reus means guilty act. Power and function of judges is governed by procedural law or customary law. Ignorance of law is no excuse. The term of provincial assembly is 5 years. The term of provincial assembly is 5 years, which is not an element of the state justice. Which is not an element of the state justice. Law is what judges declare is opinion of Chipman Gray. Law is what judges declare is opinion of Chipman Gray. Chipman Gray. Which school of law is known as fundamental jurisprudence? Sociological school. Custom is recognized as a source of law by which school of jurisprudence? Historical school. Whom does the Attorney General submit the annual report? President. Law is a means of exploitation. This quote begins to which school? Communist school divided by Marxist school divided by Socialist school. Set 7. Judge-made law is the impact of common legal system. Judge-made law is the impact of common legal system. Provision of Judicial Council is on Article 153. Provision of Judicial Council is on Article 153. Administrative law is a public law. Article 29 of Constitution of Nepal is related with right against exploitation. What is mens rea? Intention of crime. INTENTION. Intention of crime. How many members are elected through first past the post FPTP in the House of Representatives? HR 165. Which was the first institutions for legal education in Nepal? Shrestha Pathshala. Whose recommendation is sought for the appointment of Chief Justice of Supreme Court? Constitutional Council. Which organ of state enact legislature? What are the requisites of possession? Physical control, intention, visibility. Physical control, intention, visibility. Different element of possessions are corpus possessions and animus possidendi. Corpus possession and animus possidendi. What are the various classification of possession? Possession in fact and possession in law. How many models of acquiring possession? By taking and by delivery. What are the types of delivery? Actual delivery, constructive delivery by the operation of law. Actual delivery, constructive delivery by the operation of law. What are the kind of possessions? Immediate and mediate possession, corporal and incorporeal possession, representative possession and adverse possession. Who said law grows with the growth and strength with the people, and finally dies away, the nation loses its nationality? Savigny. Who said law grows with the growth and strength with the people, and finally dies away, the nation loses its nationality? Savigny. What does evidence means? Something that tends to prove of an alleged fact, and something that tends to disprove the existence of an alleged fact. Something that tends to prove of an alleged fact, and something that tends to disprove the existence of an alleged fact. How many models of evidence are there? Oral evidence, documentary evidence, real evidence. Oral evidence documentary evidence, real evidence. Negligence is conduct that involves an unreasonably great risk of causing damages. True. Negligence is conduct that involves an unreasonably great risk of causing damages. True. What are the essentials of negligence? Duty to take care, breach of duty to take care, consequential damage. Duty to take care. What are the essentials of negligence? Duty to take care, breach of duty to take care, consequential damage. How many kind of negligence are? Advertent negligence and inadvertent negligence. What are the theories of negligence? Are subjective theory and objective theory. Subjective theory and objective theory. Possession is the prima facie evidence of ownership. Possession is the prima facie evidence of ownership. Prima facie evidence of ownership. God bless you all. मेरो च्यानल सब्सक्राइब गरिदिनुहोस्. हजुरको LLM इन्ट्री होस्.